morning, Singapore. PV is in Kreta Ayer today. We are all gathered in a coffee shop next to the Kreta Ayer Square and opposite the Buddha Tooth Temple and Museum. Now, we have come here today to speak to the residents of this area. In particular, there are many senior citizens here. They are all facing a very hard time because of the rising cost of living, the exorbitant cost of living. I have just bought myself a teh C kosong, as you can see in front of me. You know, this cost me $1.60. You know, my friends, I have been following the cost of drinks in coffee shops over the last 2 to 3 years. I call it my teh C kosong index. I started off with 130, all right, in many coffee shops around Singapore. It then went to 140, then 150. Today, I find myself buying a teh C kosong for 160. My friends, that is more than a 20% increase in a matter of 2 years. Okay? And this morning, and you know, the PAP will tell you, oh, very sorry, there's nothing we can do to help because, you know, Singapore is an open economy and, you know, the inflation you are experiencing now is global in nature. I say total rubbish, and I've been saying that for a long time now. I have made many Facebook posts in which I have told Singaporeans the main cause of the rising cost of living all the time is because of the PAP's own policies. And they have no solution because they are the creator of the problem. All they can do is to give you miserable CDC vouchers, $200 to $300, and they expect you to solve your problems. But the CDC vouchers last for how long? What, a month? You know, a few weeks? And this morning I made a post on my Facebook which shows that out of 31 cities in Southeast Asia, or in Asia, because it includes China and Japan as well, Singapore is ranked the most expensive, even more expensive than Tokyo and Hong Kong. And that gives you an indication of how crazily expensive we have become, doesn't it? Yeah. And a person by the name of Lim Tean posted a marvelous comment on this post I made. And I want to read it out to you because Leslie's comment encapsulates every thinking of mine on the subject. And his comment is this: PM Wong's shifting narrative on the cost of living in Singapore raises critical questions. Initially, he implied that higher wages for low-income workers would drive up costs. Now he blames global inflation for the rising cost of living. This inconsistency suggests a reluctance to confront the real issue: the PAP's own policies that have entrenched high costs across the board. The reality is that Singapore's high-cost structure is predominantly shaped by factors under government control. These include: 1. Exorbitant land, HDB and rental costs. High cost of land, HDB and private property prices and rental rates dominate business expenses, driven by government-controlled land supply. You hear that, Amy Corr? All right? Rents have a major impact on business costs. Number 2, indirect taxes and fees. GST, ERP, COE, and inflated utility bills significantly inflate costs for businesses and consumers. 3, foreign worker levies. These levies raise labor costs unnecessarily, burdening businesses without directly benefiting workers. PM Wong's blame on global inflation ignores the systemic policies that amplify these pressures. While global trends do impact costs, in Singapore, rental costs, indirect taxes, and extremely greedy revenue-driven PAP government policies are the main culprits. My friends, I couldn't agree more with less. Singaporeans deserve better than deflection and finger-pointing, instead of blaming wage increases, global inflation, or the opposition. PM Wong must acknowledge the role of PAP policies in worsening the cost of living. It's time for the government to be held accountable for the economic burdens Singaporeans endure. So we ask again, what or whom will you blame next, PM Wong? The evidence is clear. PAP policies are driving our pain, and it's time for the PAP government to be held accountable at the next GE for the ever-increasing cost burdens Singaporeans endure. We need comprehensive review of PAP government policies that are driving the sky-high cost structure in Singapore to urgently address our cost of living concerns. Bravo. All right? So my friends, do not be taken in by all these fake PAP narratives. You know, you have heard for yourself what are the real causes of our astronomical cost of living. You know, the last 3 days it has been raining, but have the rains been extraordinarily heavy? No. They have been constant, but they have not been that heavy. I have seen much heavier rains in my living in Singapore. It never used to flood this badly. And now what do the PAP blame?